So the most important thing, and I think I said that 1 million times, is the way we are going to play the game, and then the rest we have talent to win games, but we need to be aggressive. We need to be different that we show against City, for example. So if we are aggressive, we are focused in the task, we can win any game.
How many times have we heard this from Ruben Amorim and from Manchester United? We know what he's saying is true. But going into this game against Liverpool this weekend, I just wanted to do a bit of an opinion video. I'll be totally honest. A little bit more of a stripped back video because I really genuinely see this Liverpool game as the perfect opportunity for Ruben Amorim and also, just as importantly, for these Manchester United players because I'm bored of sort of going in and out. And hey, look, I did a video or two, or a few actually, after what game was it? Brentford, I think it was. I was saying that I've lost faith in Ruben Amorim's ability to create momentum. Sunderland was a good game, but this right here is the perfect opportunity. And the reason I think it's a perfect opportunity against Liverpool is a couple of reasons. And the first thing for me, I'm going to start with this. Because it feels like Jim Ratcliffe saying them, whether you agree or not with this, is not really the kind of the point of the conversation in this video. By saying this, Jim Ratcliffe has muted any conversation around will Ruben Amorim be sacked. Now, of course, if you go and lose and you get humiliated against Liverpool, it's just going to bring it back to the surface because results will ultimately dictate the narrative. It's kind of what I mean about it being the perfect opportunity. But Jim Ratcliffe said that. Bruno Fernandes is coming out and saying the exact same thing, saying that the squad feels like Jim Ratcliffe feels. So support from within the squad, support from the top. Now, this interview with De Ligt I thought was an interesting one. There's a couple of points I want to pick out from it before I then speak about the game itself and why quite easily you can explain where the opportunities lie against Liverpool. Now, as I said, in this interview with De Ligt and the Telegraph, the top part there in red is all about, just the system itself. We don't have that conversation because we've already had it before. He was then asked about Ruben Amorim, and he's saying that, I don't know, don't read all the things they say about the manager, but I think every player here and the staff feel that the pressure is on us, which it absolutely should be. And it always gets to this point, when you have a manager, whether you don't know whether he's going to work out or not, and then you start going chicken or egg and you point towards the players or the manager. They're both culpable. But this bit down here, I think is kind of part of the struggles. Remember Ruben Amorim said, who was it? He spoke in the press and said that the players listen to what is said. And then Gary Neville came out and said it's an excuse mentality. Right there, De Ligt is saying, look, I know several guys, they don't really read it, but I do. I'm not that kind of guy. Says down there, I felt like I tried not to read it, but at the same time, I felt like I missed a little bit of what also makes football fun. The rivalry, the ribbing of rival. That is part and parcel of having fun as a football fan, but as a football player, maybe not. And then you're seeing stuff like this in the press. And man, it feels so easy to say as a fan that players should just close the doors and ignore stuff like this because it doesn't really help them. I understand that Button's goals are definitely coming from the intentions of what they're saying. I think are for Manchester United to get back to the top, but the methods of which they're doing it, I don't think particularly help. But it's just interesting to hear De Ligt saying that, some people switch off, but I actually quite like it. It's a bit of fun. But perfect opportunity. Hear me out here. This game against Liverpool, right? We're going there when they've lost 3 in a row. You're hearing this from Van Dijk ahead of the game. They can exploit United's weaknesses. Hey, everyone knows United's weaknesses. All right? It's not particularly difficult to exploit. But here's the difference going into this Liverpool game. I do not think it's difficult to exploit or explain Liverpool's weaknesses so far this season. I said that they had chinks in the armour going into this game. We're going to Anfield, ladies and gents, right? We haven't won there in 9 years in the Premier League. Arne Slot there just saying exactly what the problem is at Liverpool this season. I think they conceded 4 goals from set pieces. A lot of goals as well they've conceded on the transition when they've lost the ball overextended high up the pitch. Crosses are a problem for you. Well, how about you line up with the most prolific crosser from the Premier League last season and a 6'4" striker who leaps like an NBA player? That sounds like a pretty damn good combo to me to exploit a weakness that this Liverpool team has. Now, Ruben Amorim in that Sunderland game, he adapted, he tweaked. That's why I said, well, it's the opposite actually. What I said after the Brentford game was the reason I felt like he couldn't create momentum was because it felt like I reached a point where I accepted that Ruben Amorim just wasn't going to tweak, just wasn't going to change anything. And then against Sunderland, he did. He tweaked. And he used Senny Lomans, and he used more direct kicks, and not just Onana-style kicks, just booting it and hoofing it into nowhere, and no one can get on the end of it. They were actually a bit more measured, choosing to kick it towards a certain and getting it pinpoint. The accuracy was better, and Šeško was so much better at holding up the ball. Exploit Liverpool's weaknesses, drop onto the fullbacks, Bradley and Kirkes, get the ball to Šeško, get the flick on for Mbeumo to go in behind. Again, Mbeumo so far this season, only one more player, I can't remember his name, has made more runs in behind than him so far in the Premier League. Liverpool will play with a high line. This whole idea that, Liverpool can expose United's weaknesses. Liverpool have weaknesses, plenty of them. And this is the first time I think that United are going to Anfield in a long, long time where I can say that with confidence. And that's why I feel like this is a perfect opportunity. Because conversation around whether or not Ruben Amorim is going to get sacked has been muted since Jim Ratcliffe said this. That will probably have helped a little bit. Bruno Fernandes coming out and speaking in support of his manager. That will help. Maybe. These are small, marginal gains. Ultimately, the thing that's going to bloody change it is whether you win games of football, lads. That's going to be down to the players, because as Ruben Amorim said at the start, and we know this is the case, but if you play aggressive and it's not about going out there swinging, but just if you go into a fight and you sit down, you're going to get beaten up. That's what United have done at Anfield so often for so long, to the point where we've been humiliated, flogged, walked through the streets. Shame. We've had atonement every single time we've gone to Anfield. I want revenge. I want them to go home pissed off. It just feels like the perfect opportunity to actually shift something. Like, there's not really been much conversation about whether he's going to be sacked or not. Like, Liverpool are weak. They've lost 3 games in a row. Take advantage, you absolute weapons, because the only thing that can really change anything at this football club is winning games of football. And if you beat Liverpool, that is significant.